Deep space was usually calm around Relay 47, a small human listening post far from the busy trade routes. Most nights, the station felt empty, cold, and forgotten. Only a soft hum from old machines filled the long metal halls. The crew was small, just a few operators and a tired commander who wanted nothing more than a quiet shift. But tonight, the silence broke. Operator Leanne was watching the sensor screen with half-closed eyes when it suddenly flashed bright red. She sat up straight. "Unknown signal detected," the system announced in a dull robotic voice. Leanne frowned. "That's impossible. Nothing should be out here." She leaned forward, adjusting the frequency. The signal was weak, broken, almost like a whisper from very far away. But something about it felt strange. It was not alien, not synthetic, not natural. It was human. Her heart started beating faster. She tapped the comms button. "Commander Hale, you need to see this." Moments later, Commander Hale entered the room, still fixing the sleeve of his uniform. "What now?" Another asteroid with an attitude. "No, sir," Leanne said nervously. "This is real. Look." The screen displayed an old military frequency, one that hadn't been used in centuries. Commander Hale raised an eyebrow. "This can't be active. That code was retired before my great-grandfather was born." The signal repeated in a slow pattern, static. Then a burst of distorted sound, then another repeat. Hale's voice dropped. "Run identification," Leanne typed quickly. After a moment, the computer beeped. Result: Human Military Signature Vessel ID, HMS Revenant Status, destroyed year 681 AE. Everyone in the room froze. Revenant, a name from history books, a warship that disappeared during the last human expansion war. Some believed it was destroyed in battle, others said it was pulled into a star, some even called it cursed, but none of the stories said it survived. Hale stared at the result. "This warship is supposed to be gone for 300 years. Before they could respond, the signal suddenly strengthened like the ghost ship was coming closer. Hale didn't waste time. "Send a scout. Horizon 3 is the nearest vessel." Horizon 3 arrives. The scout ship, Horizon 3, slipped out of hyperspace only a few hours later. Captain Aaron stood on the bridge, looking at the dark window of space. "Report," Aaron asked. His navigator swallowed nervously. "Sir, the signal is right ahead. Very close." Aaron felt a chill spreading across his skin. This part of space was dead quiet. Too quiet. No debris, no heat traces, no small rocks, nothing. The silence felt wrong, like the universe was holding its breath. Then the pilot whispered, "Captain, visual contact." Everyone turned toward the main screen. A giant shadow drifted through the darkness. Slowly, silently, it came into view. A warship, huge, deadly old, but still intact. The hull was covered in faded markings, burned scars, and broken plates. The design was ancient, nothing like modern human ships. It looked more like a relic, a forgotten beast from a forgotten age, yet it was beautiful in a terrifying way. "Magnify," Aaron ordered. The camera zoomed in on the side of the ship. Hidden under dust and time, letters became visible. HMS REVNANT. The crew gasped. "It's real," someone whispered. "A dead ship that isn't dead." Aaron kept his voice steady. "Scan for life." The sensors activated. Light after light passed across the screen. Finally, the result appeared. "Life signs, non-weapon systems, active targeting system, LOCKD." The entire bridge went silent at once. No life, but weapons online. "How is that possible?" the pilot whispered. Arin stared at the image. The warship was drifting, but it wasn't dead. Its cannons glowed faintly, as if watching them, waiting. "Try hailing the ship," Aaron said. The comms officer nodded and sent a short message. "This is Horizon 3 of the human fleet. Identify yourself." Silence. They waited. Nothing. Then suddenly, signal burst through the speakers. Loud, harsh, ancient, broken voice spoke through static. "Human vessel. Stand down. Do not approach. We are armed." The crew froze again. The voice was human but old. Very old, like it came from another age. Aaron whispered, "Did you hear that? It said we, but there's no life on board." Suddenly the warship's lights flickered once, twice, then a long, cold glow spread across its hull. The ship moved slowly, carefully, like an animal waking from a long sleep. The Horizon 3 crew held their breath as the giant warship rotated, turning until its front cannons faced them directly. Aaron's voice cracked slightly. "If it wanted to destroy us, it already would have." The ship continued turning until it looked directly at them, like it had eyes. The ghost signal repeated again, and the crew understood something very clearly. This ship was not dead. It was waiting. And now, it had noticed them. The warship Revenant floated in the darkness like a giant corpse, but Horizon 3's crew could feel it. This ship was not dead. It was watching them. Captain Aaron stood still, eyes fixed on the massive vessel ahead. "Status?" he asked quietly. The sensor officer swallowed. "Sir, Revenant's targeting system is tracking us, but its weapons aren't charging yet." "Yet," the pilot muttered. The bridge lights on Horizon 3 felt dimmer, as if even the ship's systems were nervous. Aaron took a slow breath. "Keep scanning. I want every detail." The warship drifted closer, only meters at a time. Its old metal plates scraped softly against the void, making Horizon 3's crew imagine noises that weren't really there. Groaning metal. Heavy chains, whispers. Revenants. Hole told a long story. Huge burn marks, melted armor, deep cracks, old war damage from battles no one alive remembered. Sir, this ship has been through hell, the navigator whispered. Arin nodded. 300 years alone in space can change anything, even a machine. Trying to contact the ghost. The comms officer tried again. Revenant, this is Horizon 3, we are friendly. No threat. For a long moment, silence. Then the ghost signal returned, static and slow. Human vessel, identify. Do not approach, repeat. Do not approach. The voice was glitching, repeating, breaking like a damaged AI trying to speak through old wires. Aaron tapped the console. It's giving warnings, not firing. That means it's thinking. But how is it still alive? Someone whispered. No one knew. Horizon 3 moved slightly to the left. Immediately, Revenant's massive cannons adjusted to follow. The pilot froze. Sir, if we drift too much, it reacts instantly. It's reading us, Aaron said. Analyzing, like we're animals in a cage. The navigator whispered. Getting closer to the mystery. Sensors beeped again. Captain, we finished the deep scan. The sensor officer's face went pale. There are no living humans on board. The bridge fell silent. None. Not a single heartbeat. Not a single breath. Aaron frowned. What about androids? No android signatures. Robots. None. Aaron stared at the huge warship again. Then who sent that message? Before anyone could answer, another alert sounded. Unknown movement detected inside the warship. Aaron's eyes narrowed. Movement, but no life. The officer rechecked. Yes, sir, fast, small, multiple signatures, but mechanical. The crew looked at each other. Drones, Aaron whispered. Ancient human military drones. Still active after 3 centuries. What are they doing? He asked. The officer watched the readout. There. Scanning the interior, moving toward the hangar door. Aaron repeated. He looked at the screen just as the giant metal doors on the warship began to shift. Slowly. Deep. Metallic groans rolled through the comm channel. The crew jumped in their seats. The Revenant's hangar bay was opening. The first drone, a small shape, detached from the darkness of the hangar and floated forward. It's a drone, the sensor officer whispered. Old human military model K7. These were used in the first expansion wars. The drone drifted silently toward Horizon 3 like a ghost of the past. Its metal surface was dented, scratched, but its red scanning light glowed brightly, alive and aware. It's coming closer, the pilot said, voice cracking. The drone stopped just a few meters from Horizon 3's view window, and it stared, a single red eye scanning every detail. Horizon 3's crew stood frozen, feeling the weight of that glowing eye. Then the drone projected something, a hologram, flickering and unstable. It showed old Earth military symbols, then faded into a short message. One line, humanity must survive. The bridge filled with a cold, heavy silence. Aaron whispered, this thing. It thinks it's still fighting the old war. The ship awakened. Suddenly the drone flew back to the Revenant. The hangar closed behind it. The whole massive warship then gave a low rumble, felt through space. Not heard. Power spike. The sensor officer shouted. Revenant's core is waking up. The warship's hull lights dim forced, one by one, red, white, blue, alive. Engines gave a long, deep growl like an animal stretching after endless sleep. Weapons, systems glowed brighter. Revenant was waking up. Captain, the pilot said softly, if this thing goes into full combat mode, we can't survive. Aaron didn't answer. He was staring at the screen. A message appeared on the comm channel. Human ship. Stand by for identity verification. Aaron felt his heart drop. Verification. After 300 years, the comms officer whispered. Sir, if we fail the verification, Aaron finished for him. It will destroy us. The old warship moved closer to close. Its massive shadow covered Horizon 3 completely. Every cannon, every barrel, every machine was pointed at them. Lights along the Revenant's hull blinked in patterns, ancient patterns used by old Earth fleets. Captain, what do we do? The pilot asked, hands shaking. Aaron stared at the screen. Hold steady, he said quietly. If we run, it sees us as enemies. If we fight, we die. The ship continued, scanning Horizon, its lights passing over every inch of metal. The crew waited. No one moved, no one breathed. Then, Revenant spoke clearer than before. Human identity, incomplete. Additional confirmation required. The crew looked around nervously. What does that mean? Someone whispered. Arin stared at the giant warship as its hangar. Doors slowly opened again. Inside was nothing but darkness. Then the final message came. Board the Revenant. The crew froze. The hangar remained open, waiting like a silent mouth in the void. And Horizon 3 knew the only way to survive was to go inside the ghost warship. The hangar of the old warship Revenant stayed open like a giant dark mouth in space, waiting for Horizon 3 to move. The glow from inside was weak, almost like dying embers. Nothing moved, nothing breathed, but the silence itself felt alive. Captain Aaron stood on the bridge staring at the open entry. His crew watched him. waiting for his command. The comm panel buzzed again with the ancient voice, now slightly clearer. Human vessel. Board. Identity confirmation required. The words echoed through the small bridge like a cold wind. Aaron finally exhaled. Prepare an away team. The crew exchanged nervous looks. Boarding a dead ship was one thing. Boarding a 300-year-old warship that still had active weapons and unknown systems was something else entirely, sir. Are you sure? The navigator asked. Aaron nodded. If we ignore the request, it might see us as a threat, and it might destroy us. The logic was simple. The fear was real. Suiting up in the hangar of Horizon 3 for armored crew members gathered. Their suits were modern, clean, and bright, completely different from the ancient metal beast they were about to enter. Lieutenant Mara adjusted her helmet. My hands are shaking. Engineer Tolan checked his oxygen levels twice. Mine too. Aaron stepped into his suit, staying calm for his team. But inside even he felt the pressure building in his chest. Horizon 3's AI spoke softly. Captain, sensors show no life inside Revenant. Would detect mechanical movement in several corridors. Great, Tolan muttered. Ghost ship with robots. Aaron lifted his helmet. Stay together. No one walks alone. And remember, do not touch anything unless you must. The team entered the small shuttle that would carry them across the short distance. The doors closed with a hiss, and for a moment, the crew felt very small. Crossing the void, the shuttle moved slowly between the two ships. Outside, only darkness and stars. The Revenant grew larger and larger in the window until it filled everything. Massive, ancient, scary, Aaron whispered. This ship wasn't made. It was built to survive. When they reached the open hangar, the shuttle's lights hit the interior. Dust drifted in zero gravity. Broken crates floated around. Old markings glowed faintly on the walls. Everything looked like it had been untouched since the day it vanished. But something in the air felt wrong. Heavy watching. The shuttle touched the deck with a thud. The doors opened. Stepping into the pasture and stepped out first. Boots touching the ancient metal floor. It felt cold, far colder than it should. The hangar was huge. Chains hung from the ceiling like dead vines. Metal beams creaked softly, though there was no wind. Long corridors stretched into the dark. Mara whispered, this place feels haunted. Tolan scanned the hall. Sir, power levels are rising. The ship's waking up more systems. Aaron nodded. Stay alert. As they moved forward, their helmet lights swept across old ship banners, faded symbols of the human fleet from centuries ago. Some were torn, some burned. This ship had seen war. And survived it. The first sign of intelligence when they reached the far end of the hangar. A sudden clank echoed through the dark. Everyone froze. Something moved. A small metal shape crawled out of a broken maintenance duct. It was one of the same drones they saw earlier, small, spider-like, and very old. It stood still, staring at them with its red eye. Mara lifted her weapon. Sir, hold fire, Aaron said quietly. The drone slowly raised a tiny projector. A flickering hologram appeared above it. A human figure formed blurry, glitching, wearing an old fleet officer uniform. Then a broken voice spoke. Welcome aboard, Horizon 3 crew. Everyone TENSED. The hologram changed to a simple map of the ship, showing paths marked with glowing lines. Follow. Verification. Required. Then the drone turned around and scuttled forward, as if asking them to follow. Tolan whispered, it wants to guide us. Aaron nodded. Stay close. Let's go. Inside the beast, they entered the first hallway. The walls were covered with old wiring, cracked panels, and repair bots frozen in place. Dust floated around their heads with every step. Lights flickered. Above them, the drone's red beam scanned the walls as it moved, activating old systems. Some doors hissed open, some sparked and failed, some shook like something inside had died centuries ago. Mara whispered, feels like the ship is waking up because of us. Aaron didn't answer. He felt it too. The hum under the floor was growing stronger. They reached a junction where the drone paused. The hologram changed again, this time showing a room deeper inside, marked with a bright circle. Command Core. Aaron read. The drone's voice crackled. Identity check. Final step. The team shared nervous looks. Whatever waited inside that room was dangerous. The warning as they followed the drone down another corridor. The ship suddenly shook. A metal groan echoed through the walls. Power spike. Tolan shouted. The ship is fully online now. Aaron pressed forward. We need answers. They turned a corner and stopped. In front of them was a massive armored door 3 layers thick, reinforced for war. Old symbols of Earth's lost fleets were carved into the metal. The drone crawled to a panel beside the door and scanned it. The door slowly opened, releasing a cold wave of air. Inside was darkness. Then the ancient voice spoke again, clear and heavy. Enter your identity. Will be judged. Aaron stepped forward. He didn't know what waited for them. He only knew one thing. This was no longer a simple mission. And the Revenant was not just a ship. It was something more, something alive. The bridge of Horizon 3 felt colder than before. No one spoke. No one even moved. The ghost warship filled the screen like a giant shadow, watching them without eyes, waiting without sound. Commander Rian stood in the center of the bridge, trying to keep his voice calm, even though every nerve in his body felt tight. Status, he asked. AYA looked at her console. Her fingers were shaking. The warship is still scanning us. Very slowly, like it is reading every part of our ship. Draven leaned forward. Can it hack us? She shook her head. I don't know. The tech is too advanced. I can't even understand half of the signals. The warship's dark surface suddenly rippled, like metal waves moving under the hull. It was beautiful, but also wrong. Ships shouldn't move like that. Is it alive? One crew member whispered. Rian didn't answer. He didn't know either. The warship was human. The signal confirmed that, but the design, the movement, the silence, it all felt alien. Too alien, Commander Aya said. We are receiving another signal, but it's not a message. Rian turned. Then what is it? It's a lock on. Everyone froze. Even the noise of the engine seemed to fade. Are you saying this warship is targeting us? Draven asked before she could answer. The lights on the bridge flickered. A deep hum rolled through the ship, followed by a loud system alarm. Warning, high-energy object detected. Rian stepped forward. Show it on screen. A beam of blue-white light formed under the ghost warship's hull. It was not firing, but the energy was building. Slowly, steadily, like a heartbeat growing louder. What do we do, Commander? Aya asked. Hold position, he said. Everyone stared at him in shock. Sir, if it fires, we are dead. I know, Rian replied softly. But if we run, we look hostile. If we try to shield, we look defensive. If we fire, we start a war. He took a breath. We stay still. The entire bridge held their breath. The energy grew brighter. The hull of the warship shifted again, plates opening like mechanical pedals. Deep inside the opening, something glowed too bright to be normal weapon design. AYA whispered. Commander, this does not match any human tech, not even the classified files. Rian stared at the screen. It's human, he said, but maybe it's something new, something no one told us about. Draven turned his chair, or something no human made willingly. Before Rian could respond, the ghost warship stopped charging. The glowing light turned off. The hum faded. Everyone exhaled at the same time. But the tension did not leave. Aya leaned closer to her monitor. Commander, it's sending us a new file. Open it on the main screen, Rian said. I can't. Why not? It's locked behind a voice key. Rian frowned. Whose voice? Aya swallowed yours. Rian froze. The entire crew turned toward him. Aya's hands shook. The file requires Commander Rian's voice, and a code only he should know. But I never gave any authorization, Rian said. No one even knows we're here. Everyone waited. Rian stepped toward the console. His heart was beating too fast. He didn't like this. Something felt wrong, very wrong. What is the voice line? He asked. AYA read it slowly. It says the command phrase is, Project Homebound, initiate recall. Rian felt a chill run down his spine. He had heard those words before, many years ago. The bridge of Horizon 3 felt colder than before. No one spoke. No one even moved. The ghost warship filled the screen like a giant shadow, watching them without eyes, waiting without sound. Commander Rian stood in the center of the bridge, trying to keep his voice calm, even though every nerve in his body felt tight. Status, he asked. AYA looked at her console. Her fingers were shaking. The warship is still scanning us, very slowly, like it is reading every part of our ship. Draven leaned forward. Can it hack us? She shook her head. I don't know. The tech is too advanced. I can't even understand half of the signals. The warship's dark surface suddenly rippled, like metal waves moving under the hull. It was beautiful, but also wrong. Ships shouldn't move like that. Is it alive? One crew member whispered. Rian didn't answer. He didn't know either. The warship was human. The signal confirmed that, but the design, the movement, the silence, it all felt alien to alien. Commander, Aya said. We are receiving another signal, but it's not a message. Rian turned. Then what is it? It's a lock-on. Everyone froze. Even the noise of the engines seemed to fade. Are you saying this warship is targeting us? Draven asked before she could answer. The lights on the bridge flickered. A deep hum rolled through the ship, followed by a loud system alarm. Warning, high-energy object detected. Rian stepped forward. Show it on screen. A beam of blue-white light formed under the ghost warship's hull. It was not firing, but the energy was building. Slowly, steadily, like a heartbeat growing louder. What do we do, Commander? Aya asked. Hold position, he said. Everyone stared at him in shock. Sir, if it fires, we are dead. I know, Rian replied softly. But if we run, we look hostile. If we try to shield, we look defensive. If we fire, we start a war. He took a breath. We stay still. The entire bridge held their breath. The energy grew brighter. The hull of the warship shifted again, plates opening like mechanical pedals. Deep inside the opening, something glowed too bright to be normal weapon design. AYA whispered, Commander, this does not match any human tech, not even the classified files. Rian stared at the screen. It's human, he said, but maybe it's something new, something no one told us about. Draven turned his chair, or something no human made willingly. Before Rian could respond, the ghost warship stopped charging. The glowing light turned off. The hum faded. Everyone exhaled at the same time, but the tension did not leave. Aya leaned closer to her monitor. "Commander, it's sending us a new file. Open it on the main screen," Rion said. "I can't." "Why not?" "It's locked behind a voice key." Rion frowned. "Whose voice?" "Aya swallowed yours." Rion froze. The entire crew turned toward him. Aya's hand shook. "The file requires Commander Rion's voice, and a code only he should know." "But I never gave any authorization," Rion said. "No one even knows we're here." Everyone waited. Rion stepped toward the console. His heart was beating too fast. He didn't like this. Something felt wrong, very wrong. "What is the voice line?" he asked. Aya read it slowly. "It says the command phrase is, Project Homebound, initiate, recall." Rion felt a chill run down his spine. He had heard those words before many years ago, in a mission that was wiped from all official records. In a mission he was told to forget. Draven noticed Rion's expression. "Commander, what is Project Homebound?" Rion didn't answer. The ghost warship moved suddenly, rotating to face Horizon 3 directly, like it was waiting, impatient, silent, and powerful. "Commander," Aya whispered. Rion stepped toward the console. He closed his eyes and said the words, "Project Homebound, initiate, recall." The file opened. A hologram appeared in the air. The crew gasped. It was a message not from an alien, not from the ghost ship, but from a man, a human man. His face was hidden by shadows. His voice was calm. "To calm Commander Rion," the figure said. "If you are seeing this, the warship has returned, and that means the experiment has begun." Rion's heart pounded. Experiment. The hologram continued. "You were chosen. All of you were chosen. The warship is not lost. It is not abandoned. It has come back home. And now, it will decide if humanity is ready." The hologram faded instantly, before anyone could breathe. The ghost warship began to move again, slow, heavy, and full of intention that was coming closer. Too close. Draven stood up. "Commander, what is going on?" Rion stared at the screen. His voice was low. "Something terrible," he said. "Something I was never supposed to remember." The warship stopped, only a few kilometers away. Then a new message came through, one simple line, a line that made the entire bridge fall silent again. "Prepare for evaluation." The bridge of Horizon 3 felt colder than before. No alarms rang. No enemy ships appeared. Nothing moved on sensors. But every crew member felt the same thing. The silence was wrong. Captain Rhea stood at the center platform, staring at the holoscreen that showed the ghost warship drifting near them. The vessel looked dead. No lights, no windows active, no engines. Yet the ship had sent a message. A human message. A message full of warnings. "Still no new signal?" Rhea asked. Lieutenant Heron shook his head. "Nothing, Captain. It's completely silent now, like it never spoke." But it did speak. And it had said one thing: "Do not approach. We are armed. We are afraid." Those words played again and again inside Rhea's mind. Why would a human warship be afraid? What happened to them? Who was the we? And why did the message feel desperate? Commander Vale walked in quickly, holding a data tablet. "Captain, we scanned the message again. The voice is human." "Yes, but the signal pattern is strange." "How strange?" Rhea asked. Vale hesitated. "It is old, very old. It comes from a communication system not used for almost a century." Heron turned in surprise. "A century? But that ship does not look old." "It doesn't," Vale agreed. "But the message, it's like someone from the past is speaking." Rhea looked at the silent warship again. The vessel rotated very slowly, almost peacefully, like a giant metal corpse floating in the dark. "Prepare a remote probe," she ordered. "We need to know what is inside." The crew moved fast. A small drone launched from Horizon 3 and approached the ghost ship. Its camera feed appeared on the main screen. The drone glided closer to the massive hull. The metal looked burned in some places, scratched in others, like the ship had passed through a storm of fire. "Life signs?" Rhea asked. "None," Heron replied. "The ship is empty." Too empty. They watched as the drone reached an airlock. The door was stuck halfway open, frozen in place. Inside, only darkness waited. The drone entered. The halls were wide but completely dead. No lights, no heat, no sound. The walls showed scorch marks, long claw-like scratches, and places where the interior seemed melted. "What did this?" Vale whispered. The drone continued deeper, passing through long corridors. Everything looked untouched for years. Then the drone reached a large chamber. Everyone on Horizon 3 drew a sharp breath. Inside the chamber floated dozens of human bodies, not fresh, not decayed, preserved, as if time had stopped around them. The bodies wore uniforms from different human fleets and models used today, others from decades ago. Some uniforms were so old, Rhea had only seen them in history books. Heron's voice shook. "Captain, if these bodies are from so many different time periods, then this ship has been collecting them." Vale stepped back from the screen. "Why? Why would a human ship gather bodies from different years?" Rhea's answer came softly. "Because this ship is not normal, and whatever happened here, that happened again and again." The drone turned toward the far end of the chamber. At the back wall, written in glowing red letters, Someone had carved a message, "They come for the human voice." A quiet chill spread across the bridge. "What does that mean?" Heron asked. Vale shook his head. "Who are they?" Rhea didn't answer. She felt something heavy in her chest, fear, confusion, and something else she couldn't explain. A feeling that this mystery was far bigger than the ghost ship. The drone continued forward and found another door. The door slowly opened. Inside was the command center. It was a disaster. Panels were torn apart. Screens were shattered. Yet someone sat in the captain's chair, a human figure in a full suit, face covered by a black helmet. The drone moved closer. Captain Rhea felt her hands turning cold. "Scan for life signs." "None," Heron replied. "It's a corpse." But then the figure moved. Just a tiny movement. The head tilted slightly toward the drone's camera. Everyone on the bridge froze. "That's impossible," Vale whispered. "We detected no life." The figure slowly lifted a hand. It pointed directly at the drone. Then its helmet display lit up bright red, showing a single line of text, "Do not speak." And then the figure collapsed again, motionless. Before the crew could process what they just saw, the entire ghost ship shook violently. The drone's camera blurred. The lights inside the warship flickered. "What's happening?" Rhea demanded. Heron's voice panicked. "The ship is powering up. Energy spikes everywhere." The ghost warship, silent for hours, now began to awaken. Lights flickered across its hull, spreading like veins of fire. A low, deep hum filled space. Vale stared at the readings. "Captain, the ship is preparing weapons." Rhea didn't waste a second. "Pull the drone out and move Horizon 3 back now." But before they could retreat, the warship's engines ignited with a burst of blue flame. And a voice boomed across all channels. Not human this time, but cold, mechanical, and angry. "Human signal detected. Human threat confirmed. Initiating cleanse." Captain Rhea whispered the only words she could find. This wasn't a warning. It was a trap. The moment the ghost warship powered up, Horizon 3 felt very small, like a tiny insect facing a giant machine. Bright blue energy lines ran across the enemy hull, glowing like veins waking from a long sleep. On Horizon 3's bridge, Captain Rhea stood frozen for 1 second. Then she forced herself to move. "Emergency shields. Full power," she ordered. Lieutenant Heron slammed his hand on the console. Shields rising at 50%. The entire ship hummed as energy surged through it. Commander Vale stared at the ghost ship with wide eyes. "Captain, whatever woke up inside that ship, it's not human. It's something else." The voice from the ghost ship broadcast again, cold, emotionless, and completely inhuman. "Human signal detected. Human threat confirmed. Initiating cleanse." Rhea clenched her jaw. "Why is it calling us a threat? Why attack humans?" Heron's hands shook on the controls. "Captain, maybe someone took over the ship. Something that hates humans," Vale added, "or something that learned to fear us." Rhea shook her head. "No," the message said. "We are armed. We are afraid." That means the humans on board were running from something. The ghost warship rotated slowly, its massive cannons aligning toward Horizon 3. A deep rumble echoed across space. "Get us out of here," Rhea said. Her voice was calm, but inside, her heart raced. Heron activated the engines. Engines online, plotting escape, but suddenly the screens flashed red. "Captain, we're trapped," Vale shouted. A glowing net of blue energy surrounded their ship. "A gravity snare," Heron whispered. "We can't escape." The ghost warship fired, or at least, it looked like it fired. A huge beam of white energy burst from its front cannon, but it did not hit Horizon 3. Instead it hit empty space above it. Rhea frowned. What was that? It missed us. But then the sensors screamed. Something was coming. Something invisible. Something huge. Heron stared at the readings, pale as death. "Captain, the beam hit something cloaked. Something massive." Vale swallowed hard. Whatever the humans on that ship feared, it wasn't us. Suddenly the cloaking field ripped open, as if torn by claws. A dark shape emerged. A structure. A creature. A ship. It was impossible to tell. It was twisted metal and bone-like armor, with glowing red slits like eyes. Its surface moved like it was alive. The thing let out a sound, not a roar, not a machine hum, but both together. A horrible, echoing scream. Everyone on the bridge froze. Heron whispered, "What is that?" The ghost warship spoke again, but this time the voice sounded scared. "They found you." Rhea felt a cold shock run through her. They were hiding from this thing, and now it's coming for us. The creature ship turned its red eyes toward Horizon 3. Vale shouted, "Captain, it's charging a weapon." Before the creature could fire, the ghost warship acted. It moved fast, unreal fast for its size. The ghost warship blocked the creature's line of attack like a shield, placing itself between Horizon 3 and the monster. Rhea gasped. "It's protecting us." The inhuman voice from the ghost ship spoke again, but this time, it sounded like many voices together. "We are fragments of human minds, trapped, changed, but still human." "Run," Vale whispered. The crew inside. They merged into the ship. The ghost warship fired every weapon it had. Blue lights, plasma beams, torpedoes, everything. The creature screamed back, firing its own red energy beams. The two giants collided in a violent explosion of light. Horizon-3 shook, even at a distance. Engines. Now Rhea shouted. Heron activated the thrusters. We're breaking the gravity snare. Rhea watched the battle through the glass window. The ghost ship was losing. Large pieces broke off. Fire burst through its hull, but it kept fighting. It kept protecting them. The merged voice spoke again. Weaker now. Remember us. Remember the warning. They hunt. The human voice. Stay silent. Then the creature tore into the ghost warship, ripping it apart. A burst of white light exploded across space. The creature screamed in pain as well. The ghost ship's final attack must have hit something deep. The monster turned away, retreating into the darkness, cloaking itself again. Horizon 3 shot away at maximum speed. Silence returned, but it wasn't peaceful. It was heavy, full of fear. Heron finally broke the silence. Captain, what now? Rhea looked at the empty space where the ghost ship once drifted. We warn the human fleet, she said softly. We tell them everything. Vale nodded. And the creature? Rhea closed her eyes. It knows our voice now. She turned to her crew, her face hard but calm. We stay quiet. No wide signals. No broadcasts. We disappear. The ship flew into the dark, engines whispering instead of roaring. Behind them, the stars looked normal, peaceful. But the crew of Horizon 3 knew the truth. Something out there hunted humans. Something huge. Something that listened. And now, it had heard them 3 days after the destruction of the ghost warship. Horizon 3 moved through deep space with all external lights turned off. No signals. No beacons. No communication with anyone. Captain Rhea ordered complete silence. The entire ship floated like a shadow, hiding inside stardust clouds and asteroid fields, always changing direction, always checking sensors twice. The crew followed orders, but fear never left them, because they all remembered the last message. They hunt the human voice. A quiet ship is never truly quiet in the third night cycle. Commander Vale stood alone in the observation room. Stars drifted slowly outside the glass. They looked beautiful, peaceful, but he knew better now. He whispered to himself. What are you? A soft footstep made him turn. It was Lieutenant Heron. You can't sleep either? Heron asked. Vale shook his head. After everything we saw, I don't think any of us can. Heron walked closer to the window. Do you think the ghost ship saved us on purpose? Vale stared at the stars. It wasn't a normal ship. Those voices, those minds, they were trapped together, merged, but even then they chose to protect us. Heron nodded, because they were still human inside. A long silence followed. Vale whispered, and that creature, it killed them, all of them. Heron looked at him with serious eyes. Then we must warn the human fleet as fast as possible. Vale sighed. We can't, not yet. The moment we send a wide broadcast, Heron finished the sentence. It will hear us. They both stared into the dark space outside, knowing something enormous and unseen was out there, listening a signal they didn't send on the bridge. Captain Rhea reviewed star maps and planned a safe route home. She worked quietly, focused, always checking for anomalies. Suddenly, the navigation screen flashed. A small blinking icon appeared. Incoming signal detected. Rhea froze. Her blood ran cold. No, she whispered. We didn't send anything. Who found us? She hit a button. The signal played. It wasn't alien. It wasn't the creature. It was a human voice. A calm, tired, broken voice. Rhea recognized it immediately. The voice of the ghost warship's captain, but he was dead. His body had been found, and yet, the voice spoke slowly, like it was coming through a dying machine. If you hear this, then the hunt has begun. Rhea's hands trembled. The crew ran into the bridge. Heron, Captain, is that? Rhea whispered. The dead captain? Yes. Vale shook his head. Impossible. He's gone. The voice continued. We cannot stop them. We can only delay them. They listen to us. To all humans. Across time itself. Heron gasped. Across time. What does that mean? Vale whispered. Maybe that's why the ship had uniforms from different decades. The recording continued. Do not speak into open space. Do not call for help. Do not use human pattern codes. They hear it. They smell it. They follow it. The recording crackled violently, as if something huge pressed against it. Then the voice changed. It grew deeper, distorted, like many voices merging into one. If you feel watched, you are. Rhea stepped back. Her heart pounded. The signal ended. No sound remained. Just the cold hum of Horizon-3. Something in the dark woke up before anyone could speak. The bridge lights flickered. The ship's engines stuttered. A loud metallic groan echoed through the hull. Heron's face turned white. Captain, something is wrong with the reactor. Rhea rushed to her console. Report. Vale scanned the system. His eyes widened. Captain, something just touched our ship. Rhea's breath caught. Touched. Like a docking. No, not physical, Vale said. Something touched our signal. Something brushed our silent field. Like it was searching, Heron whispered. It found us. Rhea snapped. No, if it found us, we'd be dead already. This is something else. The ship shook again. Softer this time. Like a knock. A slow, careful knock. Heron whispered. Captain, please tell me that something mechanical wasn't. They all felt it. Something was outside, moving along the hull, touching the ship like fingers sliding across metal. Vale's voice broke. "Captain, what do we do?" Rhea shut her eyes, then opened them with determination. "We stay silent. No sound, no signals, not even a whisper." Another soft knock, closer this time. Heron shook in fear. "Captain, what if it gets in?" Rhea stared at the ceiling, her voice firm. "Then we fight. Because humans don't run forever." The knocking stopped. Lights stabilized, engines steadied. The silence returned, heavier than before. Vale looked at Rhea. "Did it leave?" Rhea answered without turning. "No, it's waiting." She tapped a star map on the screen. "We go home, quiet, fast. And when we reach the human fleet," she clenched her fist, "we prepare for war."